Hello, welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review for Gone Girl.
I'll love you long after you're gone, gone, gone.
I loved this movie. I had a pretty high expectation going in. I've been amped up for this ever since I saw that first trailer months ago, and it definitely did not disappoint. Let's go ahead and jump right in to the many things this movie did very well. Just a disclaimer, David Fincher as a director is a little bit hit or miss for me. Sometimes I find his work riveting, and sometimes I think it's a little bit on the pretentious, boring side. But this film definitely landed on the great side of what David Fincher does. And I think that the direction of the film was a huge plus. It built, and then it twisted, and then it built, and it built this way, and then it twisted, and it built, and it built. So you were led everywhere he wanted you to go without making it too obvious. If you hadn't read the book already. If you have, disclaimer, I haven't. But if you have, obviously you know where we're going in the story and what's happening. But for those of us that didn't, David Fincher did an amazing job of keeping us on the hook throughout. And that's the major strength of the film in general. This is a 2.5 hour long film, but you cannot tell it all. You are invested the entire way. You're right there in the mystery, in the action, and that's the biggest strength a drama like this can have, is to keep somebody hooked and invested in the story. Obviously, the source material for this film is hugely popular, so the story had to be good, and it was. This is what a suspense, crime, drama, thriller is supposed to be. It has it all in there. It has the investigation that you want to be a part of. It has the suspects and the misdirection that every good crime suspense has. And it does it all to just such great effect. And that's also in part due to the acting cast at hand. I'll get to Ben Affleck in a second, but I really want to start this off with Rosamund Pike. She was fantastic. She had a lot of hats to wear in this film, and she wore them all perfectly. She was able to switch on a dime to what was requested of her and do it all so convincingly. And you're always so rooted into what her character's doing, and you want to see her story continue. Whenever she's on the screen, you are hooked in to her. She steals every scene that she's a part of. I thought she was fantastic, and really, she stole the show. She was the highlight and shining moment of this film for me personally. Also, Tyler Perry and Neil Patrick Harris both have minor roles, but they are very strong in the limited screen time they had. Neil Patrick Harris plays a kind of creepy character, and you're like, oh, he's weird, he freaks me out a little bit, and he does it so well. So, lovable old Neil Patrick Harris that we all love plays this creepy, weird part super well, super convincing. And Tyler Perry, when he's allowed to act outside of his own films and outside of Medea, he is a very strong actor. I would really like to see him in more of these type of roles, like Alex Cross I thought he was good in, and here he's good again. He's just a really charismatic character, and his personality really shines through. And I think he could really break out if given the opportunity to star in more vehicles that he doesn't also direct in. So I thought he was really good. The thing with both of these actors, though, that I think maybe holds them both back from really starring in big franchises is that you're never fully taken out of, there's Tyler Perry, or that's Neil Patrick Harris. So it's a little bit weird that every time you see them, you do kind of recognize them as their characters, whereas other characters, such as Ben Affleck's character, you obviously know it's Ben Affleck, but you get kind of lost into, no, it's not Ben Affleck he's playing, it's the character that he's portraying. Also, the cinematography I thought was really strong, as well as the music, to create such an ambiance and effect that really hooked you into what was happening. So the color palette it's really kind of bluish and dark through a lot of it. it works really well for what we're doing. And then Trent Reznor, who's worked with Fincher before, does the score and composition for this as well. And he's just really good at these suspenseful, kind of dark, creepy things. Who would have guessed, right? But I think it's a really smart choice to bring someone like this in rather than doing a big, musical orchestral ensemble from Hans Zimmer or John Williams or something. So, what did the movie not do quite as well? Let's go back to Ben Affleck. Let me say that it completely took me out that this character had to do with their chin, just because, as we all know, Ben Affleck is going to be playing Batman, and bat chin is all I could think of, especially when that line about his chin came through at the beginning, and then it was referenced throughout. I was just like, bat chin, every time. So already the Batman effect is seeping into some of his other roles, I think, and his chin is such a defining factor that I do think it's going to be a bit of a problem in that bat suit. And he looked a little bit heavy, so I don't know how much in advance this was shot to Batman. I'm not exactly sure, but I definitely don't think he looked like this in the promotions for Batman, so he must have done some heavy, crazy workouts to get from Gone Girl to Batman that we've seen in the promotions. But this movie reminded me of why Ben Affleck has been such a hit or miss actor, because he's hit or miss in one film right here. When we're supposed to believe the romantic parts, I don't believe it. I don't connect to him. I don't find him relatable, and I don't think he does, love story very well. And I think that's why it's taken him so long to become a respectable actor/director in the community, just because he spent so long doing romantic comedies and romance movies, and that's not where his strength lies. His strength lies in the serious, gritty, drama, a little bit over the top sometimes, performance. And when he's allowed to do that here in Gone Girl, he's wonderful. So we have the tale of two Afflecks, and I think it really was off-putting and didn't allow you to fully be invested in what he was doing throughout the entirety of the story. And he's such a subtle actor, but he's not able to really pierce through the subtlety of his performance like so many great actors are. You want them to feel real, but his subtlety is just too understated. There's nothing going on underneath the aloof performance given a lot of the time. So Ben Affleck, for me, was the weakest out of the entire acting cast. And that's saying something for the lead of the film, and a star as big as Ben Affleck. Speaking of before, definitely the weakest part of the film were the flashbacks to the romance building up. Like I said, they weren't really believable and they weren't really interesting at all. So I was about all of the flashback scenes. But all of the current day stuff was wonderful, and as we moved forward, some of the flashbacks, as they got more intense, were better. But the flashback sequences overall left me a little meh. But really, overall, those were the only negatives for me, and they were minor negatives, because I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. This is a great way to kick off the Oscar awards season, as they call it, and I'm excited to see what's to come if this was the first offering we got. So I definitely recommend Gone Girl for any adult. This is not a family movie. It's too graphic. There's too much stuff in there that are not meant for kids. But any adult over age of 17, because it is R, I definitely say go see this film. You won't regret it. It has something for everyone, I think, and you will really have a great time at the movies. That has been my review for Gone Girl. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't be afraid to go ahead and hit like down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel so you're always up to date on our latest videos. I love you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!